Hello, Microsoft Advertising and API community. Thank you all for joining our webcast today. Today we'll use this time to share what's new and upcoming in our product roadmap. Our two primary goals are that you walk away with a clear understanding of the benefits and newly released features, and to provide you with the resources you need to support adoption. I'll briefly review the Webcast console. It is customizable on your end to move around the widgets, but we do recommend leaving things as they are so you have the ability to see all the resources at the same time. We are providing live captioning. You'll also see a resource list on the right side of the screen. The presentation is available for download, and there are links to topics that you'll find helpful. For Q&A, please feel free to input your questions in the left-hand widget as you have them, and we'll answer as many as we can at the end of the webcast. And there is a very short survey at the end of the webcast so that we can get your feedback. My name is Lisa Sanner, and I will be the host. I'm an Operations Program Manager working for Microsoft Advertising Technology Partners team. We do also have our technical account managers in the room, and they will be answering your questions live via the chat window throughout the call, so please be sure to submit those. But again, there will be time at the end of the call for Q&A. Please note that many of the features discussed in today's call are either in the early planning or pilot phases, so dates and information are subject to change. With that, let's look at our agenda. Today, we'll provide an audience roadmap update. We'll discuss campaign-level association for audience targeting, main goal selection for automated bidding, parallel tracking, final URL suffix, and we'll discuss recently released prominence metrics. For accounts and billing, we'll discuss work accounts, customer hierarchy, and shared library. We'll also have an update on responsive search ads, action extensions, and we'll close with a reminder on the Bing Ads API version 13. I will now turn it over to Oswald, and he'll get us started on the audience roadmap update.
Great. Thanks, Lisa. So we'll start today with just giving you an overview of the audience roadmap and the direction in which we're going. We'll talk through the current features as well as the new features that are coming soon. So if you look towards the section that says now, we have all these capabilities available either in GA or in pilot. The most recent ones are product audiences, similar audiences, and LinkedIn profile targeting. Then the ones that are coming directionally in the next phase as we go into the future are customer match, custom combinations, and an expansion of in-market audiences and product audiences. So let me spend a little bit of time talking through the ones that are in pilot now. The product audience is a capability that builds on remarketing, where if you have specific products on your website that you would like to show to a user that has already interacted with them, we are enabling you to do it at a very specific granular product level. Similar audiences is another pilot that builds on remarketing, where we take your remarketing list as a seed list and use machine learning to expand and find similar users that are going to perform as well or close to the remarketing list performance. And we also have LinkedIn profile targeting, where we will take the professional profile aspects of users that are on Bing and allow you to bid boost on them. Customer match, which is coming next, is based on email match, where you can upload from your CRM hashed emails, and we will be able to create a list for you to target from that. And custom combinations is taking remarketing and product audiences and audiences that you provide and creating combinations of them that are more valuable to you for your audience targeting uses. So let's talk a little bit about similar audiences. In that, we are allowing you to, for any remarketing list that you already have in the system, if you're already in the pilot, we are allowing you to expand the reach of that by using a similar audience, and it behaves just like any other audience. It's automatically created in your system. and you can associate it with your ad group, apply a bid boost, or do a target and bid using that similar audience. And the results we're seeing in the pilot are very strong. We're seeing higher CVRs and higher CTRs as compared to non-targeted users. With LinkedIn profile targeting, we're allowing you to target based on companies such as Microsoft or other company names. We're allowing you to target on job function, like could be software engineer or could be somebody in the medical profession. And we're also allowing you to target industry. So it could be things like people in the construction industry or technology industry. And when they are on Bing, we're allowing you to bid boost on those users. And lastly, we're making sure that you can reach users who are off Bing with the same intent that they expressed on Bing. So we're taking the intent signals from Bing and letting you reach users when they're off Bing through the Microsoft Audience Network. So this is also available. All of these capabilities are available today via the API. And the new capabilities in Microsoft Audience Network are that we are reporting viewable impressions, so you can track users who have viewed your ads and the associated performance with that. So next, I'll hand it off to Nan Lee, who will walk you through campaign-level associations.
Thanks, Ashraf. Hi, everyone. This is Nan. I'm a PM working on audience targeting and attribution tracking. So I'll be covering going over 2 updates in this area. The first one I'm going to talk about is campaign-level association. So today, advertiser has the ability to add audience targeting at the ad group level. So for advertisers who have tons of ad groups and are managing all those audience at the campaign level, this is a very time-consuming effort. So to make it easier and simplifying the process for people, we are now supporting campaign-level association. So advertisers can actually apply the audience and manage them at the scale at the campaign level so that they can have more flexibility in engaging with their customers. This feature is now in open beta. It's available across all markets, supported for both for all campaigns and ad type on the search network, and it can be accessed through both the web UI as well as the API. So in general, this feature works similar. So yeah, in general, this feature works similar to that of ad group level association. You can target all audience types at campaign level. So that includes remarketing in market. One thing to keep in mind is that a campaign can have targeting association at both the campaign and ad group level. So this means you need to see the associations at one level first before applying at another. Exclusion does not have this restriction. This feature is supported in both campaign management and Fog API. So here are the new service operations and data objects that you can use to create and manage targeting associations as well as exclusion. For Fog API, we are adding 10 more new record types that you can define a campaign level association for all the audience types that we are supporting today. So now moving on to main goal selection for auto bidding. Most advertisers are tracking conversions across different channels and funnels to ensure that every single step of that consumer journey is being captured. However, not all conversion actions are the same. So some values are more important than others, and advertisers want to center their bids around those conversion actions. For example, people who have made certain purchase. So with this feature, we are now giving advertisers the ability to identify those valuable goals they want to be used for bid optimization, but at the same time, they can also maintain a holistic view of all those secondary goals for their tracking and reporting purpose. So there are a few changes as part of this feature. So first of all, we are adding a new setting called Include in Conversions that is being added to all goals settings page. So this is an indicator for you to say if the data from this goal should be used for auto bidding or not. This new setting will be impacting conversion data reporting in the following ways. So first of all, the existing conversion metric columns will be updated to only include the data from those goals that are marked as including conversion. Yes. And then all the aggregate data from all your conversion goals, regardless whether this new settings enabled or not. So those data will be now surfaced through a new set of metrics called all conversion column. So there are 5 columns in total. And lastly, a 6th conversion metric that you're seeing in your goals report today will be calculated based off data from the new all conversion metrics. So these 5 new conversion metrics will be available in all scripts and reports that we are now surfacing conversion data. So we are actively working on this feature and hoping to start the pilot sometime soon in December, and we'll share details when that starts. So please stay tuned. And now I will be passing this on to Rose.
Thanks, Nan. My name is Rose Dorleans, and I am a PM for upgraded URL-related features. Today, I'll talk to you about parallel tracking and a few features that we're introducing to help you better onboard to it. So parallel tracking is a new way to handle tracking in Microsoft advertising. Currently, in our traditional way of tracking is sequential tracking. So what happens there is when the end user clicks on your ad, they first go through a series of redirects before landing on your final URL. With parallel tracking, these redirections happen in parallel while the end user is taken directly to the final URL. As a result of this, customers will now have faster page load times, since landing page loads faster without having these users to go through tracking URL before they get to your site. This results in a better ad performance because faster page loads can reduce lost visitors, bounce rates, and drop-off metrics to your website, all while still having the same great tracking experience in Microsoft advertising. So to set up parallel tracking, you will need to enable this in your account level settings. This can be done by setting the ad-click parallel tracking account property value to true in the Bing Ads API. You can also do this in the web UI by navigating to the shared library section of your account and checking the option parallel tracking. In order to enable parallel tracking for a specific campaign, you can do this by defining a custom parameter titled beacon and assigning its value to true. You don't need to put this custom parameter in any of your URLs. A few things to know about parallel tracking is that it is currently in closed beta, but we are accepting hand raisers. We expect that parallel tracking will GA as an optional setting in July. Moving on, we have the final row suffix and the custom parameters expansion. So these two features we're introducing to help customers better onboard to parallel tracking. As I said before, with parallel tracking, the redirects happen in parallel. Some advertisers we know use this redirection to define a certain number of parameters. With final row suffix, you can now define these parameters that will be attached to your final URL in our product to ensure that they are always passed to the final URL. In addition, with our expansion of custom parameters from 3 to 8, as well as increasing the character limit of the value to 250 characters, you will now have additional space to define these parameters beforehand while maintaining any of your existing custom parameters. A few things to know about final row suffix and custom parameter expansion. The final row suffix will be available at the account, campaign, and ad group levels. Account, campaign, ad group, and keyword levels to start, and the custom parameter expansion will be available at the campaign, ad group, and keyword levels. This will include support from the API, web UI, MAE, and import. Currently, we are in an open beta for these features, but we plan to GA them by the end of June. In addition, we will support additional levels such as ads, DSA, product partition by September. And now I pass it on to Nava to speak about promise metrics.
Thanks, Rose. So my name is Nava, and I'm a PM focusing on automated bidding and reporting experiences. And today I have a reporting-related announcement I'm happy to share with you all. So knowing where your ads are appearing on search results pages and understanding what percentage of eligible impressions you're actually capturing are important parts of bid strategy optimization and campaign diagnostics. Historically, average position has been one way to estimate where your ads are serving relative to other ads, but we'll soon be offering additional metrics to provide a clearer picture of where your ads are actually serving. This is a Google parity feature with one major exception. We will not be removing average position. We're simply offering these additional insights so that we can take a look at the column changes. We will be removing the more general impression share loss to bid, relevance, and expected CTR, and instead be offering top impression share metrics that reflect the top of page position and absolute top impression share metrics that reflect the most prominent position on the search page. And for each of these metrics, you can see the share loss to rank and budget. Additionally, for product ads, there will be an absolute top impression rate, which reflects the percentage of impressions shown as the very first ad above organic search results, and top impression rate, which reflects the percentage of your impressions shown above the organic search results main line. We hope these metrics will help you better understand your ad performance and ultimately make your campaigns more successful. And with that, I'll hand it off to Marianne.
Thank you, Nava. So I'm Marianne. I'm a program manager on accounts and billing. I work primarily on payments and access. And I'm here to talk to you today about work accounts. So what we support today in Microsoft advertising are personal accounts. And the way to think about personal versus work accounts is really that one of them is geared towards personal use versus the other one is geared towards corporate. However, one thing I do want to highlight is that they both absolutely are leveraging the same latest technology in multi-factor authentication, fraud detection, and security. The piece that our advertisers care about is who is able to manage these accounts. So on the personal account side, which are Microsoft accounts, this is entirely managed by the individual. So I sign up for an account and I can have full control over that account. However, with work accounts, which are backed by Azure Active Directory, the control lies with the organization and that organization's IT admin. So organizations can completely govern these identities, and then the IT admin can create, edit, and remove accounts from their company directory at will. They can also control how their users can access services and which services they can access. So how are we going to introduce work or school accounts in Microsoft advertising today? The way that work or school authentication is going to take place is that, first of all, you will get full control with the branding and the required authentication. So your actual login experience is going to be the same as you experience for your company across a range of other, not just Microsoft services, but all services. Secondly, we will give you additional control to enforce that your users authenticate with a work account if that is the kind of control that you are seeking for your account. And then lastly, you can see who is using a work account versus who is using a personal account. So you get that level of insight into who is using your Microsoft advertising account. A couple of pull-outs here is that after somebody switches from a personal account to a work account, which is something that we will allow, then they can no longer use that personal account. And that's the basic kind of security perspective, but that should give you insights into the fact that if any of your users are switching from personal accounts to work accounts, which we expect that they will, and your tools are not updated, they would not be able to authenticate with your tool. The second thing to pull out here is that Microsoft advertising will not force users to switch from personal to a work account. So this is entirely an individual choice or something that will be managed at the organizational level. So from an API implementation perspective, a couple of things to pull out. Firstly, you must move to a new authentication endpoint or reconfigure the existing endpoint. And that's because your current authentication endpoint most likely only accepts personal accounts today, both personal and work accounts. We have introduced 4 new descriptive error messages for sign-in failures. Those should give you granular levels of detail that should let you have the best customer experience when your customers are authenticating with tools. One thing I do want to highlight is that this is required for a good customer experience, engaging a variety of customers. If you're only expecting to authenticate one company or a few companies, you can look on an individual basis whether this is required for you. but if you want anyone who is trying to access Microsoft advertising to be able to do so through your tool, you must adopt this feature. We are entering open beta this summer for this feature, and then the work accounts will officially launch on September 1st, 2019. So we encourage you to take a look at the API documentation as early as possible. Everything is available online, and you should be able to start the integration process from today. So the last thing I will leave you with is, what does the experience look like for your customers from today to when they move to the new endpoint? With your current endpoint, you can see no matter what you give it, it will always authenticate you as a personal account. But in the future, depending on which account type the email matches, you will get directed either to your company-specific branded page with your company's authentication methods and protocols, or you'll be redirected to the personal account. So they'll continue to support option types. And lastly, if you do have an account or an email address that happens to match both a personal and a work account, which is possible, we will offer this disambiguation workflow, which is standard across all Microsoft products. So with that, I will hand off to Shim, who will talk about customer hierarchy and shared library.
Hi, my name is Xin. I'm a PM from a consulting team, mainly focused on agency and multi-account management area. Today I will talk about two new capabilities, hierarchy and shared library, which will help our agency and multi-account advertisers easily manage their accounts in our platform. So before I talk about the detailed functionalities, I want to first talk about the problem we want to solve. The first problem is customer cannot set up Microsoft advertising accounts in the way that makes most sense to their business logic. For example, if agency manage multiple clients and each client may have multiple accounts, so in that case, agency need to build maybe hundreds of the linking relationship with every account under each client. So that builds a flat structure, and this flat structure cannot really reflect your real business logic and make it hard for agency to manage large scope of accounts. The second problem, even agency build linking with their account to gain the account management, but today they cannot act on behalf of client for customer level actions. Today, agency cannot create account under their client customer shell. They cannot manage or invite user to their client customer shell. They cannot receive client customer level notifications. So the third problem is today we lack of centralized management and resource sharing. For some big advertisers, they may have multiple client customer shell in our platform. But we don't offer any centralized management to help them gain holistic view of their whole company's advertising performance. And also they cannot use the shared resource across their different customer shells. To solve this problem, we offer two capabilities. First is hierarchy. The concept for hierarchy is simple. We support users to build customer-to-customer linking to set up their hierarchical account structure. So for hierarchy, we offer 6 key capabilities. Firstly, beyond today's customer-to-account linking, hierarchy also supports a new linking type, customer-to-customer linking. User could leverage this customer-to-customer linking to build hierarchical account structures. Secondly, you may ask, I already adopt today's customer-to-account linking to manage all my client accounts. Can I upgrade to the new linking type? The answer is yes. We support users to easily upgrade the existing customer-to-account linking to the customer-to-customer linking. It will help you to remain all the account access, meanwhile grant you the additional permission to complete the customer level tasks. Thirdly, you may ask, if I work with multiple agencies and also need to be managed by my company's top-level customer shell, what can I do? To meet this need, we support multiple linking. One customer shell could have up to 5 direct managers linking above you. This will empower you to work with multiple parties. The next question may be, if multiple agencies link to me, do they all have same permissions? The answer is no. We offer 2 different linking permissions, administrative linking versus standard linking. This gives clients more flexibility to control different agencies' permissions. Then, beyond the linking permission control, we also offer flexible extension of user management. After you build your hierarchy, super admin user always could access everything. But for other users, you could define their access scope to allow them to access all accounts or only access certain accounts. This will help you to easily allocate your resource and also control every different user's access scope. So last, hierarchy also will empower resource sharing across different customer shells. After you build your hierarchy, you can easily share some key campaign resources across different customer shells. So this next, we are going to talk about our next capability, share library. So share library, in our first version, we will support users to share UT tag and remark list across different customer shells within your hierarchy. So how does the share library work? So basically, in a hierarchy, we have 3 different personas. Firstly is owner. If the UT tag or remark list is created under a customer shell, then this customer shell is considered as owner of this UT tag or remark list. So we give owner all permissions. The owner could edit, delete the resources. Also, they can check the sharing scope and also manage the sharing scopes. And next persona is owner's manager. If a customer shell is linking above the owner, then we consider it as the owner's manager. For owner's manager, we also give them full permission. They could edit, delete the resource on behalf of the owner. And they also can check the sharing scope and manage sharing scope on behalf of our owner. The third persona is basically the rest of the customer shell in the hierarchy. So for the others, if you are added into the sharing scope, then you could use the UT tag and remark list from the share library, but you cannot do any change on that resource. So basically, this is a UI experience to allow you to easily define your sharing scope within your hierarchy. When you create or edit UT tag and remark list, you will see a new section called sharing. You could see the nested view to show all the hierarchies you can access, and you can easily check or uncheck any account or customer shell to define your sharing scope. Okay, that's all for my new capabilities. Next, I will pass it to Joe.
Thank you very much, Tim. Hi everyone, I'm Joe, PM on the ad products team. On past API calls, I've talked to you about features such as dynamic search ads and familiar ad extensions like price, callout, structured snippets. Today I'm here to talk about arguably my favorite topic, responsive search ads. I like to think of responsive search ads as a straightforward ad type with incredibly powerful possibilities. If you turn your attention to the infographic we have here, I'll explain responsive search ads, and particularly as they might relate to standard or expanded text ads. In a typical expanded text ad, you provide up to 3 headlines and 2 descriptions, and they always show in the order in which you provide them. With responsive search ads, we strip down the barriers of a fixed ordering and a fixed set of headlines and descriptions, and instead allow you to provide up to 15, so a considerably large set of headlines, and up to 4 descriptions. Then, Bing both analyzes across all the possible combinations of these headlines and descriptions before ad delivery, which of these combinations are powerful, and then during delivery, based on the intent signals available, which one is the best available ad to show at the right time to your potential customer. In terms of the actual delivery of the ad, we're still choosing up to 3 headlines and 2 descriptions like one of your expanded text ads may serve. A common question for responsive search ads is if different headlines and different descriptions are being shown in different orders, can I influence that order at all? I always need this to show in a certain position, and the answer is yes. With RSA, we provide a mechanism called pinning, which allows you to ensure that regardless of what combinations are chosen throughout the ad, if a specific headline or specific description always needs to show in the same location, we can provide that guarantee. For reporting in RSA, we provide the standard ad level report, which tells you how your ad is performing across all your combinations and at an aggregate level, as well as providing reporting on the individual assets or headlines and descriptions and the combinations that are being shown to your users. Going forward, what you'll need to know is that right now we are testing RSA in a closed beta with plans to open the beta in the upcoming calendar quarter. RSA is already supported fully in our campaign management and bulk APIs, and you can feel free to check out the reference available online. At a high level, if you're familiar with Google's responsive search ads feature, we're offering the same features and functionalities. So what you've come to expect and know at the high level on Google is analogous on Bing. We're really excited to be working on RSA, and tests are certainly going well. So we feel confident that RSA is poised to take the stage as our next big ad product. That's it for RSA. You can and are encouraged to reach out to myself. I would love to hear your feedback, love to hear your ideas for RSA. With that, I will pass things over to Akshaya.
Thanks, Joe. Hi, everyone. My name is Akshaya. I'm a PM who also works on various ad products, and I also have a Microsoft advertising app for iOS and Android. Today, I'd like to discuss Action Extensions. So Action Extensions is a Microsoft advertising only extension that we provide. We have tested out this extension internally for a couple of years, and it was very successful with our customers, so we decided to move it forward to our main advertising platform. Action Extensions allow you to convert your customers faster by highlighting a call to action button in your ad. Action Extensions will serve with your ads that are available on the search network. With our beta testing, we noticed that customers who had leveraged Action Extensions saw an added CTR increase of about 20%. So here are a few call-outs about Action Extensions. Action Extensions can appear with other ad extensions within your ad copy as well. Like other extensions, they can be associated at account, campaign, and ad group level. One benefit about Action Extensions is we have about 70 predefined action types to choose from. This will allow you to experiment with various action types as well for your campaigns. We don't support all action types for all 12 languages on our platform due to character length restrictions. The table you see on the slide calls out the action types that are not supported for each of the languages. We do have a list of best practices that we recommend advertisers follow to best serve their action extensions. We recommend that you have a minimum of 3 lines in your ad copy below the display URL to ensure we have adequate space for the action extensions on our serve page. We also recommend that ad text 1 should be no longer than 72 characters. And as with all other extensions, we recommend our advertisers to adopt as many as possible, as well as opt into our automated extensions for our algos to best decide how to serve the richest ad copies on your behalf. For more information, please view the linked documentations on the slide. Our help page goes over the setup of action extensions in our UI, as well as the API documentation linked will go over how you get set up for action extensions through our bulk as well as campaign management service API. Thank you, and I will now hand it over to Sachin.
Thanks, Akshay. This is Sachin, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Bing Ads API v13. So as you may know, Bing Ads API v13 is now available to all our customers worldwide. With the availability of Bing Ads API version 13, version 12 is deprecated and will sunset by October 31st of this year. Please migrate to the v13 services as soon as possible to avoid any disruption to your service. Note that Bing Ads API is still the API for the recently rebranded Microsoft Advertising. Please refer to the migration guide for details about the new features. The SDKs and code examples have already been updated with the support for version 13, so you can get started right away. As always, feel free to contact support or post a question in the Bing Ads API developer forum. Now we'll open the forum to questions. Please feel free.
Thank you, Sachin. Now let's transition to Q&A. Just give us a moment to pull up the questions and we'll get started.